And hello, my Facebook friends and Blake Media listeners as well. This is Dr. Joe Blake here with Blake Media, where we're helping you get your point across. And we're here for today's broadcast. And want to let you know that we're going to share some things today about the here and now, the now and later. I think about I'm old, so it had some candy way back in the day called Now Laters, and I don't even know if they even sell it, but you know I'm old when I'm talking about Now Laters. But the now and the later with and in regards to saving and investing. So I'm going to get right into it here and share my screen. And there, here. And let's see. And here we go. So start with our PowerPoint here. I'm going to try a little bit of music in the background, and I'll see if I can turn it down. That didn't work out, did it? Stop share for a second here. Get my PowerPoint back here. Share. Okay. And there we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we start out again with Joseph Building Financial Literacy and do a little bit of recap so we can make sure we're still on track with what we're learning and what we're getting information from. And beginning with the model again, and I know you may have heard this and seen it already, but again, repetition makes the model real to us, and it also gets in you know, infused in our brains so we have the understanding and know it and know it and know it. Right? Hearing and hearing and hearing it embeds it in our brain. So there's the full this is the decision model here. So you have knowledge, actionable knowledge, then there's behavior. So there's three, so you get the knowledge and then you get the behavior. So that knowledge you want to at the end influence that behavior. Inside of the model, we have the skills that you want to learn. There's the stewardship, basics, investing, borrowing, protecting. And so that's within that model. Those stages that you have to learn as a continuous process. And as you learn and exercise your skills in each one of those stages, you can do those things on initially it may take on a monthly basis, could be on a quarterly basis or semi-annual basis, then an annual basis as you learn and understand the different things within those steps in that model. And then and that's when you learn it and you understand it. Then we have the behavior model, and within the behavior model, you're looking at if you're making the right economic changes, if those changes are having the right financial effect, if the money is piling up, and then if it's monetarily flawed, if you're looking to become a millionaire overnight, that's not happening. It takes time to build wealth. And then it's unrealistic. If you're thinking that you're going to hit the lotto, or you think that you're trying to make 10,000 coming to 10,000 to 30 or 50,000 within 6 months, that takes time to build wealth. And then if what you're doing, recreating there, if what you're doing, can someone else recreate what you're doing and have the same results or better? You want to be able to recreate what you're actually doing and someone else, meaning could be your kids, and they recreate and have the same results, sustainable results that you're having. Sustainable results. So that's the behavior model, and you use the behavior model with the shopping cart. You look at that model and you implement that model within each step of the decision model here to make sure you're doing the right changes. And when you do that, use those steps in the behavior model it changes your actionable financial behaviors, and you make those changes. And the idea is to correct and detect errors in your financial life. Okay. All right. So these are the 5 precepts that I learned in my book, Joseph, Building Financial Literacy. And again, what we're doing is expanding on those things that helped me write my book and what I thought in my research, because this comes from the research that I did for my doctoral degree, and it was also what God gave me, and also what God gave me, and to help me understand what I was doing, why I was doing it, and what I was doing for people, because I've been licensed for 26 years as an investment advisor, and one of my claims to fame is I read the Bible front to back on 8 different occasions. So it was important for me to make sure I was doing God's will for my life, and this is what I felt. This is what I know is His will. So we're talking about what I read about the items that I read in correlation with me writing my research and writing my doctoral dissertation and writing this book. Okay, so this is kind of a recap from last class. We talked about religion as a determinant of economic behaviors that we have. And we mentioned that Evelyn Lear was one of the books that I wrote. Evelyn Lear is a university professor at University of Illinois. And she had talked about religiosity. And this is just like a refresher. She talked about involvement in religious activities, and how that involvement in religious activities, the purpose for it, in her mind, and this is bringing it into the beginning of recent era, is to accumulate intellectual capital. You want to get ideas in your mind and understand what it's for and how that influences our that active involvement influence our activity as it relates to financial behavior. And that's how in religion, in a sense. The other article that we talked about last week was from Kenneth Bolden, and in his thoughts, it was avoiding sin and staying out of bad trouble, so to speak. So it's not to say you don't do those. You want to avoid sin, but that was a premise of his. There's nothing wrong with that, But at the same time, you want to go to church and use that information that you learn for gaining some intellectual capital. Now, here's a video that's gonna. Well, not yet. Let me see. Yep, this video is going to give us a little. This is you. This is a synopsis of what religiosity does for the individual and helps the individual get that intellectual capital and make them a better person.
This is you. This is you on religion. At church, we hear a lot about the spiritual benefits of religion. The scientific side is less illuminated, despite the numerous health and family benefits that researchers have documented. How are your grades? If you aren't actively involved in church, odds are that they could be better. A study of nearly 19,000 students indicated that young people perform better academically when they're religiously active. A survey of American women found that those who had been involved frequently in religion completed 1 more year of schooling than those who were not. And when you start your career, you'll doubtless benefit from the strong work ethic that Frankfurt School researchers documented among the religious. Is marriage one of your goals? A Pew Religious Landscape study indicated that people with a religion are 15% more likely to be married than the unaffiliated. Active LDS people are 29% more likely to be married. Religiosity keeps marriages stable, satisfying, and collaborative instead of conflict-based. Plus, it makes men better husbands. Their church attendance is highly correlated with their wives' happiness. And if your religious beliefs are very important to you, you'll be 22% less likely than others to end your marriage in divorce. In the meantime, attending church regularly will keep you healthy. A long-term study in Canada found a 22% lower risk of depression in those who attended church at least monthly. You'll also be better able to handle stressful events and to form and maintain healthy habits. We all want happiness in life, and religion may be the best way to find it. A study that looked at factors including age, income, race, and education found that perceived closeness to God was consistently the greatest predictor of life satisfaction. And when your kids come along, they'll be less likely to smoke, abuse drugs, or wind up in juvenile detention, and more likely to develop good academic habits. They'll be healthier and happier, and you'll be a better parent. Even your grandkids will have better relationships with their mothers because of your religiosity, whether or not your children are religious. Being religiously active is a gift that keeps on giving. When you get to the end of your life, 7 years longer than a non-religious person's on average, you'll find that you've contributed to a better world by giving more of your time and assets to charity. And if you believe in an afterlife, then maybe the best is yet to come.
Okay, so that's just a kind of a good picture of what religion and how it influences your life and how it can influence your life economically as well. So this is another term that I read about, and this is from Thaler. And actually, Thaler had a couple of articles that influenced my writing as I was doing my research. So he talked about here was mental accounting. And I know I used some technical terms, but that was part of the doctoral process of writing. But I'll make things simple as we go along. But mental accounting is another concept that I've read about. Now, with mental accounting, that's is a cognitive operation where we use in households to organize or evaluate and keep track of activities or spending things or spending patterns that we have in our life or in our homes. And so with mental accounting, we place like monetary expenditures in buckets or envelopes, and as a means of spending things in a habit or fashion. And I'm quite sure some of you may have heard of this or may have done this yourselves, that okay, we're gonna put this money over here in this bucket right here. We'll use this envelope method right here to spend. So what the retailers do is they understand that, we do that. So they, in turn, when they price things, they'll put it in the small incremental buckets for us to kind of somewhat fall into. And then we grab onto that, and then we kind of grab it and not pay attention to the bigger picture of it, and we get caught. And it's not necessarily, it's not their fault, so to speak, but they just they put the hook out there and they catch us. And if we're not aware to it and we're not paying attention to it and we get hooked, boom. It's really not their fault. We just fell right into it, and we end up paying a price for it. And we get mad and upset, but that's that mental accounting. That's that mental accounting. And once we get hooked, once we get in there, it's like too late. And sometimes I'm a everyday brother. Sometimes I go into the store, supermarket, I just see a price and I'm like, bam, I'm gone. And I'll give you an example of like a mental accounting. So let's say you put it in buckets or envelopes to spend. Retailers know that, so they'll put it in a small you put a small amount there and you kind of latch on to it, and then you're trying to spend it. So here's an example. Let me see, is that right here? Let's see. Yeah. I need to get some soup one day. I was watching my granddaughter, and she had a cough. Man, I only had it for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And man, that cough, I was only there for an hour and a half. And man, that cough set me out for a whole week. You know, young kids, they'll knock you out. 54 years old, man. And she was like, I think like 4, knocked me out. So I need to go get some soup. So I went to the store, and I got some soup, and I was like, okay, how much is this soup? Oh, that's 99 cents. I needed about 3 of them. So I grabbed 3 cans, and I'm a regular dude now. So no matter how many education and whatnot, I regular dude. So I grabbed this, I see 99 cents, boom. So I went to the cash register. So I'm expecting $3 and some change, because that's me. So I go to the cash register, and start paying for it and everything. And it was like $5 and some $5. Are you crazy? How you gonna have $5? This is 99 cents right there. And then the lady wanted to say, no, that's not 99 cents. Well, it says there is 99 cents a can. What are you talking about? And then she said, no, that's only if you buy. And if you look here, it says if you buy eight or more, then it's 99 cents. So they got me caught with that mental bucket. I said, I seen 99 cents, and I was like, oh my goodness, man. I'm seeing that 99. So that bold print giveth, it gave me the idea with the 99 cents. But that fine print, sure enough, took it away. And I was like, oh man. I got that when I seen that happen to me. I said, all right, I'm gonna pay $5 for these 3 cans. But I went to my car, and I was like, man, I cannot believe I let that happen to me. After I paid for it, and I got in my car, I had to go back into the store and take a picture of this, so I can be able to tell you guys this today. And so 99 cents, but if you read that little fine print in there, it was, you had to buy 8 of them to get those cans for 99 cents. I didn't need 8 cans. I didn't need 8 cans of soup. I just needed 3 just for a little bit, and that was it. And so I didn't see that. 2 reasons. 1, I was in a rush. 2, I didn't have my glasses, so after a while, I got contacts on, and I still need reading glasses, and I did not see to buy 8 or more because it's too small. And so they can get us with that mental accounting, because they'll put the bold print there. You'll see the bold, but that little small stuff in the middle, you ain't gonna see that. You just see the bold 99 cents, put it into your card, boom, get to the register. Why? What's going on? Why is this so much? I was like, it says 99 cents, and I got 3 cans. It should be like $3 and change. 5? And she said, do. Mental accounting, catch you every time. There's some stores when you go there, you see a computer there, and it's, oh, this is only $30 a month. Yeah, $30 for that. Then you got to add on the daggone software now, and you got to add on something for the maintenance, the virus protector, and that's how they catch us. So you got to be mindful of that. You see that mental accounting, you got to be aware. That's not really built into the price, but they get you with a little bit of $25. But you got to do this, the maintenance, and that. Car dealers do the same thing. You got to add that. Then you end up having the gap insurance. You got to add this there, and maintenance and that, and the cold package, the warm package. It's like a never even ending cycle. But they get you to commit to a smaller amount. Then they add another thing to the price, then another thing to the price. And they get us with that mental accounting and that little bit, and add it on. So be mindful of that when you make purchases, and then so you won't get yourself caught into that cycle. So that's an example of mental accounting. Now, another example here, and this is going to be a short class, by the way, and I'm not going to keep us all here forever. But this is suboptimal financial decisions, and with this there's what's called hyperbolic discounting. Another big old juicy word. But the other reason why I share these terms with you as well, you won't run into them every day, but when you're around, folks that are in some places or economic terms, and they use these terms, or if you hear them on television, you hear those economists share these words, and they don't sit back and explain them, but they'll share the terms and they'll say them, and they'll just keep right on going in their conversation. But at least when you next time you hear the word or hear the term used by the economists and them guys on TV and Wall Street, you'll kind of catch it and say, okay, I got an idea what they're talking about. Because any other way, they're not going to sit back and explain it to you. Or if you go on YouTube and get something, it's going to take you got 20, 30 minutes before they explain it to you. So here with hyperbolic discounting, is kind of relevant to it's like the opposite of time value of money. Because with the time value of money, it's like you put some money away and then later on down the road, you're gonna have a whole bunch. That's how you put a little bit now, later you have a whole bunch. Well, with hyperbolic discounting, people don't want to wait till later down the road to get some money. They want the money right now. They discount the fact that they're gonna have this lot right here, and they get a whole bunch now. And that's credit cards. Credit cards give you the money right now, but man, do you pay for it later. But people don't care about what they're paying later. They want them jeans right now. They want that dress right now. They want their power drill set right now, and they'll pay for it later because they don't want to wait. So what you receive today has more value than what you receive tomorrow. And that's hyperbolic discounting does that, and that's kind of gets us in financial traps, so to speak. So let's see here. So right there. Okay. Now this video, the lady's going to be talking in pounds, which is the British currency. But the same instead of saying pounds, just think of it in dollars, and you'll get the concept. So let me go ahead and play this for you.
In essence, hyperbolic discounting refers to the tendency for individuals to increasingly choose a smaller, sooner reward over a larger, later reward, as the delay occurs sooner rather than later in time. So imagine today I gave you this choice. Would you rather I gave you £100 today or £120 in a month? Many individuals would choose £100 today. So now let me ask you to predict how you would approach the same scenario on a future date. Would you rather I gave you £100 in a year or £120 in a year and a month? Most people believe they would choose £120 in a year and 1 month. But wait, why has our opinion changed? This change in opinion over time is referred to as being time inconsistent and is the basis of hyperbolic discounting. So now let's take this concept and apply it to the lifestyle factor of diet with another scenario. Would you rather I gave you a cupcake today or no cupcake and you experience health benefits in the form of losing weight in a month? Many individuals would rather take the cupcake today. Now again, let me ask you to make a decision today about the same scenario on a future date. Would you rather take a cupcake in a year or no cupcake and experience health benefits in a year and 1 month? Many individuals would believe in the future they would diet and choose the second option to not have the cupcake and experience health benefits. In summary, individuals that hyperbolically discount during decision making are impatient and prefer immediate rewards in the short term. For example, in our scenarios, the £100 or the cupcake today. But when the same scenario is hypothesized in the future, they are happy to wait for better rewards, such as the £120 or the health benefits of not having the cupcake in a year and 1 month.
Okay, she talk rather fast, but what you have to, one of the things you have to remember too is like when you're, and you can tend to have to do this early in life, you got to be long term. You got to think about the long term, and 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 when you're saving or investing for the future, it's just one account. Your retirement account is long term. There's 4 basic accounts you should have started, and the only one you want to think long term about is your retirement one. And you can have all 4 funds going at the same time, but the retirement one is you want to set that one aside and let that one go. Let that one do its thing over time. And the other 3, that's a plan. The retirement one is planned for tomorrow, and the other 3 are funds for today. And so you don't want a hyperbolic discount with that one that you plan for tomorrow. You don't want to worry about that one. You want to put money aside on that one on a monthly basis and keep going. That's something we'll talk about later as well. The last week I told you I'm going to talk about hyperbolic discounting and mental accounting, and that's what we're doing. Okay. All right, so here is an example. Okay, make it bigger. Of what I did here is that this is a $30,000 investment, and someone was putting $200 a month away into this investment. And what I did was I went 11 years back in history. So 11 years ago, and this was in June, 11 years ago. And what year was that 11 years ago from June? What was that? That was June 2009. And what was happening in June 2009? That was the economic crash. Everybody was running and screaming, stocks fall, stocks crash, and oh my goodness, there's nothing good going to happen because everything just crashed. And nobody wants to invest, nobody wants to save, nobody wants to put anything aside. So if that was you and you stopped, that same 30,000, if you would have put it aside and put an additional 200 a month into it, at the end of this 11-year period, you would have had $125,000 right now. Sometimes you got to ignore the noise that's out there. In the end, the 125,000, 24% of it would have been what you put in. That beginning balance of that 30,000. 26,000 would have been what you added to it. But 55% would have been gains. The growth on your money would have been more than half of what you put in. So that's where that long-term looking, that long-term aspect of it, that's what's there. So you had to take the emotional roller coaster, get off that emotional roller coaster and let time, let the economy do its thing, because it always goes up, always goes down, and it always comes back. Always. And get off the emotional roller coaster, stop watching TV because it's going to drive you crazy. And if you let the emotional roller coaster take over, you won't have a good ride. You won't. And it'll scare you, and it'll get you away from your ultimate goal, which is financial independence and creating generational wealth for your family. And this is the next to the last slide. This is a picture from the market, and also give you some of the headlines of the things that happened. And this goes back from 1972 to 2000, and I think there's 18 there. And these are some of the headlines. In 72, there was a budget deficit. 82, double-digit unemployment. 89, oil spill. Up to 2008, stock market there was a meltdown. And in 2000, it was a tech bubble burst. But just look at it. From 72, the market did do this up and down, but over time, it ended up still up. People look at it now and they say, oh my goodness, the stock market is down. the stock market is doing horrible. But if you look at your phone and go to that stock app right now, the market is at 27,000. The Dow Jones. This is one measure. There's like 29 other ones. One measure, 27,000. And if you go back to, I think it was like 1980 something, 1980 was like 1,200. So it went from 1,200. It's like you think of it as a speedometer. It was going 1,200 miles an hour, and now it's going 27,000 miles an hour. And that's what time is. And then there's a scripture. I'm gonna have to get to see you next time, but it says, as long as the earth remains, there'll be seed time and harvest, night and day. Same thing, you plant your seed in 1972, you give it some time, and at the end, then you reap your harvest. So that's always there. Always there. Plant your seed, give it some time, and reap your harvest. So the market will be there. It may change form at some point, but for right now, until someone else builds a better mousetrap, we got the market, and you want to take advantage of it while it's there. Until something else comes along better. That's the plan that we have now, and it's been there for over 100 years. Okay, all right. So just to recap, again, we're learning these things because it's actionable knowledge. You got to get new information in your life about finance. Got to get another book, read a book. Good book to read is Joseph, Building Financial Literacy. You can get it on Amazon. You can just type in Dr. Joseph Blake Jr. and my book will come up, or you can put in just Joseph, Building Financial Literacy. You can order the book there. If you go to my website, which is BlakeMediaLLC.com. If you go to my website, you can order the book from me directly, and I'll actually sign your book, and you can get an authorized copy of it, and I'll sign it and address it to you. Costs a little more if you get it on my site, but at least you get a autographed copy from me. But anyway, so you get more knowledge, and the objective there is that in the end, you want to change your behaviors. You have the skill sets in the middle there, and those skill sets you want to practice. And as you're doing that, you want to make sure that you use your shopping cart to change look at each step in the model so you can change your behaviors and make things better. And again, my overall objective is to show families how to build financial literacy so they can create generational wealth for their families. So again, this has been Dr. Joe Blake, Blake Media, where we help families help you get your point across. If you have any additional questions, you can go to my website. Again, it's BlakeMediaLLC.com. It has my contact information. You can send me a question through my website. And again, you can get my book at Amazon.com or on my website as well. I hope you guys got some information from the day's training, and we will see you again on next Saturday, 11 a.m. And this is Dr. Blake saying, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.